I need you to scream for me.
Like a damsel.
He's Tarzan. You're Jane. He'll come for you.
My dad loved the old the Johnny Weissmuller movies from back in the day when he was a kid. He would every Saturday he would go to the matinee in his little town in Sweden and watch Johnny, and was just obsessed with Tarzan. So that's how, that was my introduction to the character and the jungle. How I fell in love with Tarzan was when I was a kid. Dad wanted to introduce his idol to his son. That was the first phone call when I found out I got the job, was to my father, and he screamed. He was more excited than I was, actually. It was the most all-consuming job I've ever done. It was 9 months of basically checking out and saying goodbye to friends and family, because I was on a very strict diet. It was a very intense shoot. All my energy had to go into playing the part. I was genuinely so excited about the project that every morning, even though I was physically in pain and sore from doing action stuff the night before, and had a long day of training and shooting ahead of me, I was always incredibly excited. And the sets were the big, I mean, it looked like a theme park. They had these two massive, they shot it where they shot Harry Potter in North London on those sound stages. And it was two airplane hangars that they turned into jungle sets with real trees and real bushes and African plants, a river inside, a mountain indoors. A year before we shot the movie, they planted African grass to recreate a savanna. They had a colonial town, an African village. The steamboat you see in the movie was all there on an artificial lake. The quarry with a waterfall. It was absolutely insane. So if I was ever nervous before, because I heard that we were going to shoot it in London, and I was like, it takes place in the Congo. What's that going to be? You know, is it all going to be a green box with us actors in it? It was so helpful to have big sets around us that you could actually, when you were on that soundstage, you felt like you were in the jungle, because it was humid. It was like the smell of the trees and the plants and the mud. It was an incredible experience.
Consider the jobs we would create for the poor natives of the Congo.
Prime Minister, allow me. You are Tarzan, Lord of the Apes, King of the Jungle. King Leopold's inviting you because you're a celebrity.
It is almost the opposite of the novel, or the novels, the whole series, and the 100+ iterations of the movie. It's because that's about taming the beast in a way. It's about this wild ape man who then, enters civilization for the first time and has to deal with all that. We've skipped that, and you meet him 10 years later. And I think that's an interesting journey, and I think it's a fascinating dichotomy, the friction that creates, and I think that's something quite relatable, because in a way that's the essence of being a human, the fact that we are both. We're civilized, but we're also animals, and in our daily life we have to kind of, that creates some friction. There's a bit of a struggle, because we have these primal instincts, these urges, and when and how do they manifest themselves. And this is that to the extreme, obviously, because he goes from a British lord to the ape man. But it was very fun to take that journey. And again, I think it's something that people can relate to, and because we all have that animal within.